Hello everybody and welcome to today's edition of North with Collectors. Today, got my hair cut, got my beard trimmed, 90 degrees in northern Wisconsin, kind of necessity because it's dying of heat stroke. But today I've got a little bit of investing, so welcome to class of Investing 101 in Pokemon. So today, we'll go over a few things, a couple of little items and tidbits of information. Biggest thing is that we're going to go over different types of investing if there's in Pokemon, what the pros and cons are to those, and which one might be best for you for what you're looking to do in the long term. So, if you could, please stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright, welcome back. Today we're going to get into the first item, which is card collections. Now, this is something that I've seen done. I've physically watched it and been part of it when I was younger. That people would go online and purchase a card. Just for say, we just pulled this one the other day. This Whimsicott. Now, if you go online, you can buy this for $10.50 for the card right now. Get it home in a raw form like this. The advantage to this is that if you get it in, you could go ahead and do what we used to call flipping. So you bring these in, you'd send them out, you'd get them graded. When they came back graded cards, you would sit there and then sell the graded cards for 5 to 10 times profit depending on the card that was involved. Now the pros to this is it used to be very fast turnarounds for large gains on cards. You could sit there and buy raw cards for a reasonable price, and of course the graded cards would go for much more. So it usually took 30 days for turnaround, 20 to 30 days for the turnaround time on sending this card to PSA and getting it back. Back then it used to be $10 a card if you got a bulk, so I knew a guy that I used to go to school with used to get 100 of them, send them together as a bulk order. They were like $7 a card to get graded, bring them back, and he would sell these cards for a good profit. That's actually how he turned a lot of his profit around. This was a really good way to make short-term income with very little work on your part except for the waiting game. There are cons to this system now, and it still works for the most part. The biggest issue that you're dealing with is time. Cons are right now is that if I were to take this card today, even in a group of 100, unless I use the Express, which is really expensive, it takes currently 8 to 10 months to get this card back. How much is the economy going to change in Pokemon in 8 to 10 months? That's the question that you have to ask. Is this card that I'm sending out today, so good examples right here, I grab these ones because they're new. This mustard, or single strike style mustard. If I sent this out today at $4.50 and if it comes back at a PSA 10, right now that card's going for about $48. In 8 to 10 months, is this card going to be worth that much money? Probably not. With modern cards, the price continues to fall as the supply increases. So as more people open product and start selling these products, as more people get cards back from grading and start selling them, the price continues to drop. So would it be worth me to purchase raw cards such as this, or even if I go into Shining Fates, any of these three here, and go and put them for sale or send them out to PSA and get them back and try and sell them as a graded card? It'd be very difficult and the profit margins would not be there currently. PSA is trying to correct this. They're now introducing AI to increase the amount of production they can get through. The other problem though with PSA and a lot of the grading companies right now is they have increased price. Now, are you going to be able to increase price and make the profit margins you need on this? If you're paying $20 to grade this card on top of the raw cost of $4 to $5 roughly, $4.50, are you going to have enough profit margin left when it comes back to justify doing that? Probably not. Another problem with this system. Before, with the less than 30-day turnaround times, it was quick, easy money. Go through, do this work, buy a collection from someone, send all the cards off to PSA, get all the cards back, and send them. So that's one way of making an investment and profit inside of the Pokemon world. The other thing is too is that this is why I want to talk about how to make money in Pokemon cards. That's the trick, is making money in Pokemon cards. The next version is, instead of doing anything, just buying the raw cards or buying the graded slabs and letting them sit. So this is a long-term investment strategy that usually does do well as long as you pick the right cards to sit on. Charizards are always a given. Any of the starters, such as a Grookey or someone like that, is always a good one. But the catch-22, the pros to this is that you can get them at a relatively cheap price now. Even graded, it's not an expensive investment compared to a vintage card or something like that, where you're purchasing it for $5,000 to $10,000, depending on what vintage card you have, to sit on it for another 10 to 20 years. With that being said, you can get these cards, get them graded, or buy them graded, put them away, and forget about them for 15 to 20 years. After 15 to 20 years, pull them back out of the closet and look at it that way. So, that's an option, that's another way of investing, but that is what we call a long-term investment. You're going to be looking at that for a long time in the future, trying to get these things accomplished. So what I'm going to show you here is an example of the first one. So if you go down here into my computer, I'm on here on eBay and I just typed in Pokemon cards first editions. So an example of these two would be, for example, there's this Dragonite, which is a really quick, easy example. The Dragonite here, you could go ahead and get this card right now for $135 plus $4. So $140, you can purchase this raw Dragonite card, vintage, first edition fossil. Now, if you open it up, and I already opened it up to make this a little bit simpler, this is the same card, so I'm not pulling anything or changing it. You can see here that there's some damage up in this corner. There's also, if I go through here, come back, so here's the card. There's a wrinkle up in this upper corner, upper left-hand corner there. There's some of the hollow showing on a lot of the edges. You cut through here, you can see, if you look at the hollow itself, there's a lot of scratches in it, so there's some issues going on with this card. You know, the back, if you start looking at it, it's got whitening all around it. You can see all the whitening on all the edges, and then of course that wrinkle up in that corner now, where you can see it on both sides. So with that being said, you know, if it didn't have all these issues, you'll find it. So I just put in PSA 7, but I'm gonna be honest with you, it's probably a PSA 5. If you were to do a PSA 5, even a number 4, looking down through this stuff right now, and you go through eBay and you turn on the buy it now, or you know, the recently sold. So this one here sold in April 2021. This one was a number 4 Dragonite, and it sold for $400. Now, even being that, here's one that was at a 5 that sold at $135. So there's no margin in that. But if you could buy this card, let's say at $135, and it came back, you know, if you looked at it and you decided it was going to come back to PSA 7 even, you know, just to do a quick turnaround. We go to PSA 7s and, you know, CGC 7s and things like that. As you can see down here, I mean, you could turn $300 and pass with a 30-day lead time. Now the question is in 8 to 10 months, is this card going to be sitting at that price? Who knows, with the current way the market's going, with all the retractions that are happening right now, which we're all foreseen. We all knew that this was coming, but just to give you an idea, here's the list of things that we are dealing with. That these were recently purchased, recently sold. These were April, May, you know, May 20th, May 22nd, May 26th, and they're all about $300. I'd say an average of $300 right there. So, I mean, if you could get that back at a 7, you could actually potentially make a decent amount of money just doubling up right there. So that was always a trick, and that's another way you could do is purchase this card, because you know in another 15 years, if you get this card graded or buy it at $300 now, the chances are in 15 to 20 years this card is probably going to worth $6,000, you know, $6,000 to $1,000, $1,200, maybe even pushing up to $2,000, depending on how the markets play out in the next 15 to 20 years. So these are just things that I wanted you to show. These are options. Now, I've never been into this side of the market very much. My part always comes into this, and I did it when I was back in high school and going into college. I wish I would have kept some of the products that I have kept sealed from 99 and 2000 when I was in college, because at 06 roughly, I, of course, like every college kid, needed a new car, I needed to pay rent, I needed to buy food, I needed to get my books for school and my tools, and this is where I started using my booster boxes then, and instead of selling them now for major money, I was selling them back then for $400 for a base set. You know, I had a guy that was buying them, bought my whole set, and I think I had like 2 Jungle, 2 Fossil, base set 2, a base set. I had an Aquapolis, all sealed product. and I think I got a total of like $3,000 for all of them. Now I sit there and kick myself in the butt for not keeping them, but that's how it was back then. You didn't know. Hindsight's 2020. If we knew half the stuff we did about our cards back then, you never would have opened a pack of cards and the market would still be nothing. So that's where we sit on that. But I've got a really serious question when it comes to the third option in investing in Pokemon and making money. Is this item here going to be worth more money than this Grookey in another 15 years? The chances are is that you're going to say this ETB in 15 years, sealed, still in the plastic, is probably going to outweigh the individual cards that you may pull inside of this box. Why is that? People always wonder why sealed products work that way. The basic idea is that it comes down to the sets too. Shining Fates is a good example. Battle Styles would be a horrible example. Shining Fates is printed to a limited amount. They may do a reprint, but it's actually got a limit to the amount that they are actually printing. You go to Battle Styles. Battle Styles was a print-to-order set. What does that mean? Every order that was placed for a Battle Styles product through any kind of distributor will be filled. So if a place ordered 4,500 boxes of Battle Styles, the first wave was a partial fulfillment of that. The second wave will fill it. That's the way that they did that system. I don't know if it was because it was a new playing dynamic. I don't know if it was because that they just wanted to sit there and mess with the scalpers at the time and take a hit at them by making the product overflow the shelves. You know, if they ordered it, you got it. So now that's why you're seeing, if we go here, and I'll pull this up again down here on my screen, and I go into here and go, you know, Battle Styles booster box. So we just go and just do a regular price search right now on a Battle Styles booster box. You can go right now straight to Amazon without even really looking. It was the number one thing on my shelf, on my cart, and you can buy that right now for $105. And I've seen them as low as $99 plus shipping. So, for example, this, we have Amazon Prime. It's going to be free shipping. So I'm going to pay $105 for that booster box. Battle Styles was print order. They're overflowing. There's people begging other companies to take these things and try and sell them because they've ordered so many of them, thinking that, like Shining Fates, you put in an order for it, the distributor put in the order for what they needed, and they allotted so much to everybody. So if you ordered 1,000, ETBs, let's say, a company ordered 1,000 of these, they only were going to get an allotment of 200. They knew that they were only going to get 20% of what they ordered. So they did that. They intentionally overshot to get the bigger margin for what they needed. Battle Styles is the opposite. Whatever they ordered, they will get it, and they will be buried. And that's why you're seeing this market kind of flip right now, going through here and even going down here. The Battle Styles boxes are dropping. Chill and Rain, I don't know what kind of system. I haven't had the opportunity to look. My guess is that they might, more than likely, they're going to go back to the Shining Fate style, where it is a limited amount of print, and the distributors will distribute a percentage of it. So that's where we're at on that. I mean, just to give you an idea on what you're looking at and what's happening is these are the things. Me, I'm a sealed product collector. I'm not just a collector, but an investor. I put this stuff away. I buy sums of it. We put it away, and then we sell it here, hopefully in 15 to 20 years, and make good profit on these things. I will be doing a later video where I want to do the top 5 modern sets that I would purchase to put away for yourself as an investment tool in the Pokemon market if you're looking at making some kind of profit. Most of the stuff that we look at, or I look at when I'm doing this stuff, is what kind of products are going to be about 3 to 5 years out and make this stuff work. So, like I said, these are the things that we're going to go over. I like to continue this investment section as you go. I'm trying to find a couple people that maybe want to come on and do a shared, collaboration between a couple other places. Bring them up, and we can look at 2 different investing strategies, or how to make money in Pokemon cards, how you could look at long-term and short-term gains and goals, and we will cover that a little bit more in depth. It's something that I enjoy. That's kind of where my background is. So once again, if you're looking at investing and making money, keep these things close. I know I'm coming from a collector, since I do collecting also, it's really difficult to not want to rip through every single one of these boxes that you get. But realistically, most of these products will be worth more money in 10 to 15 years in the plastic or sealed or closed up than they will be opening them up and trying to retain the cards. Some of the cards will go big, that's just a given, but once again, how many products do you have to open to get the cards that you're looking at to actually get that product and actually make money on it? So that's the question you have to ask yourself, is that, are you looking at making money short term, long term? Things to think about when we come up to the next segment here. Are you looking to make money in 2 to 5 years, or are you looking at the long-term game of making money in 15 to 20 years? That's all going to come down to you. This will help you make some of those decisions. Like I said, next segment I'll be doing the short-term products that I would suggest investing in. Once again, I am not a professional analyst. I am not a financial advisor. These are things that I see by doing research on the internet, doing a lot of watching, observing what the big products are, and also listening to other places to put together what would be the safe and probably the most successful paths of products to get you what you want to do. So, like I said, stay tuned. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the notify. That way when we do these segments, you'll be able to be involved. If you have any questions, if you want to bring up something that I missed or something you want to add to this conversation, please put it in the comments below. And the question I have for you today is, do you think that this would be helpful for you in the long term as a collector or as an investor? Otherwise, I'm going to cut it off there. Once again, thank you for joining me on PokeTube Friday, or Poke Talk Friday. This is PokeTubing, but we're going Poke Talking today. So, like I said, thanks for joining me, and we will see you next time here on Northwoods Collectors.